Good morning. Today is Sunday, July 30th. We will begin with today's speaker is, oh my god. Today we'll begin with quiet sitting. Please sit up straight, feet on the floor, and gently follow your breath. Today's sutra chanting will be Jusege, reaffirming the vows, Tam, Nimbutsu, and Ekoku. Then we will do Vandana and Tisarana on page 7. Our reading together will be Eightfold Path to Happiness from the Orange County Buddhist Church. Our Dharma talk will be given by Reverend Ram Miyamura, Midwest Buddhist Temple of Chicago. Our gathas will be Ondok Samtu and Nimbutsu. Words of appreciation, announcement, and our closing dasho. Namamida Butsu.
情満足いよろじぽ日月主十期天候音不言一周解放送公正苦読法上大衆従説法四式供養一切仏具足種特本元年出上満徳意三害を如仏無下知通達未不詳願学営利投資最小損志願若国家大戦を感動国書店にとうち妙見May we together awaken the body-mind and be born in the reign of peace and serenity.
Will you all rise, if you are able to, for the Vandana and Tisarana on page 7.
Sangam Saranam Gacchami.
I go to the Buddha for guidance.
I go to the Buddha for guidance.
I go to the Dharma for guidance.
I go to the Dharma for guidance.
I go to the Sangha for guidance.
I go to the Sangha for guidance.
Namu Kiye Butsu.
Namu Kiye Butsu.
Namu Kiye Ho.
Namu Kiye Ho.
Namu Kiye So.
Namu Kiye So.
Namo Amida.
Namo Amida.
Namo Amida. Namo Amida. Namo. Please be seated. Our reading this morning is The Eightfold Path to Happiness, and it's from the Orange County Buddhist Church's book. And Sangha member Brian Dock will be reading it, and please follow along with him. You should have the sheet if you received that at the door. Does everybody have it? Thank you.
The Eightfold Path to Happiness. The teachings of the Buddha help us to understand the oneness of all life. To lead us in the right direction, the Buddha provided us with the Eightfold Path. Right views, to keep free of prejudice and superstition, and to see the true nature of life. Right thoughts, to turn our minds away from violence and hatred. Right speech, to refrain from harmful talk and to use our words wisely. Right conduct, to see that our deeds come from peace and goodwill. To grow every day in the Buddha's teachings. Right livelihood, to try to earn our living in such a way that we avoid causing suffering. Right energy, to use our energies to promote the overcoming of ignorance and destructive desires. Right mindfulness, to cherish a good mind, for all that we think and do has its roots in the mind. Right meditation, to study the teachings of the Buddha and to practice them to the best of our abilities. May the presence of the Buddha, who said that he would live in his teachings, be our guide. May we follow this path until we too realize nirvana.
This morning we are pleased and honored to have as our guest speaker Reverend Ron Miyamura. And he is currently the resident minister at the Midwest Buddhist Temple in Chicago. He's also has been our supervising minister for many years, especially when we were without a resident minister here. He's been helping us a lot with all of the things that we've been doing here, our duties. And you probably have seen him too, because he regularly speaks here. So Reverend Miyamura, he's been an essential part of the Eastern District, and we will miss him because he's going to be retiring in the fall, and he'll be retiring from the Midwest Buddhist Temple in Chicago, and Reverend Todd Tsuchiya will be taking his place, so we might be seeing more of Reverend Todd. Reverend Miyamura has been serving the Midwest Buddhist Temple from 1973 to 1975. He was the associate minister there under Reverend Gyodo Kono, who was the founding minister of Midwest Buddhist Temple. And then he served as resident minister for a while, and then returned to serve again for many years, and he's been the overseeing minister for the Twin Cities Sangha in Minneapolis, as well as Cleveland Buddhist Temple. So he's been a busy, busy man, and we love him. He's been a really essential part of our Sangha, and we've learned so much from him as a teacher. So this morning he will be our speaker, and I think Huang is going to help us with the screen. So.
Good morning. This is Reverend Ron Miyamura, the resident minister of the Midwest Buddhist Temple in Chicago, and currently the only Kaikyoshi minister in the Eastern District. I have been your supervising minister since the retirement of Reverend Earl Ikeda, and I have not traveled much during the pandemic. But now it is my turn. Soon it will be my turn to retire. I will retire on November 1, 2023, and Reverend Todd Tsuchiya will be the resident minister here at Midwest. My time as your supervising minister is coming to an end, and Reverend Kurt Rai will be your resident minister. And he will also have to take care of Seabrook and Ekoji, so he will have some added responsibilities and will have to share his time. But first, today I have to thank Gary, Isabel, and Cheryl, the minister's assistants with Tokudo, who have been taking care of the services and other religious activities of the New York Buddhist Church. This is such an outstanding team. And again, I thank you, Gary, Isabel, and Cheryl. For me, the challenge is whenever I prepare a Dharma message, I always worry about what to say, and then I get nervous, and then more worried. But I have to accept that I am not a good speaker, and I have to lower my self-expectations. Then I remember to keep things simple, and then try to relax. I probably never relax, but I can keep things simple. I have been around the Eastern District for almost 50 years. I arrived in Chicago to be the associate minister at Midwest on August 1st, 1973. It seems to be the time now to look back and wonder what I have learned in almost 50 years. And I was out of the ministry, active ministry, for 29 of those years. But I have been involved in many other ways. And recently, people have been asking me what I have learned, what have I done, what are my themes, what is my understanding of Shin Buddhism, and how it has changed perhaps through the years. And actually I surprised myself, since I did not think deeply when I responded. My response was twofold and related. Nishu Jinshin and come as you are. Nishu Jinshin refers to the two kinds of deep awakening. And it comes from the time that when my mentor in Japan, Reverend Michio Tokunaga of the Ryukoku Translation Center, tried to teach me Shin Buddhism. And he used the phrase, Bon Sokushin. Bon Sokushin. He tried to drive that through my thick skull. And this refers to, Bon refers to Bon no, or the endless selfish desires of human beings. Bon no is what prevents us from understanding and accepting the Dharma. Often it is translated as evil passions, but I like to think of Bon no as limitations. Soku. Soku means at the same time, often translated as immediately. It means to be exactly the same as something else. One thing is the same as the other. That is the part I really didn't get. And Shin refers to Shinjin, or Shin Buddhist awakening. This refers to the moment of accepting wisdom and compassion that is Amida Buddha. So Bon Sokushin comes from Shinran's unique understanding of the fulfillment of the 18th vow of Amida. It's often referred to as the Nishu Jinshin, the two kinds of deep awakening. So using logic and normal thinking, we usually think that first we encounter the Dharma and we have to see that the Bon no is limitless. So I try to change myself and I go down a path of Buddhism, keep trying to change myself. And perhaps then something happens as I am going along the path, something happens to change and I turn towards enlightenment. But Shinran said no. We are simultaneously, at the same time, simultaneously destined for hell because of my limitless Bon no. And at the same time, we are embraced by Amida's wisdom and compassion. Of course, we cannot use logic, and we cannot use normal thinking, because we can't be going in two directions at the same time, to be destined for hell and to be destined for enlightenment. It seems they are opposites. But that is why logic and normal thinking doesn't work. So this is the spiritual core of Shinran's unique awareness. We call it Nishu Jinshin. We can't use logic. We have to find that spiritual answer, to go deeply into our own selves and to realize we are both destined for hell and destined for the Pure Land, destined for enlightenment. The other thing that I think back on my years is to use the phrase, come as you are. It has been my theme and perhaps core appeal, how to share. And I don't remember, and I don't know where I first heard this phrase, but I think it was at the Buddhist Study Center in Hawaii, where I stopped for a few weeks to visit my friend, the late Reverend Ryo Imamura, who was the director of the study center at that time in 1973. And come as you are is a thought that's been rolling around, empty head, rolling around a lot for many years. But when I returned to the active BCA ministry in 2010, it came to the forefront because it captured much of what I wanted to share. Come as you are is a phrase that is from the Ohigan story, the story of the other shore and the narrow white path. It is the voice of Amida Buddha encouraging the traveler on the narrow white path of the Nembutsu to cross over to the other shore just as we are, without changing, just as we are. And I think come as you are is really the intent of Shinran's teaching, knowing that we are all limited human beings. Come as you are is Amida Buddha's message to us ordinary beings, full of bono, full of limitations, full of selfish desires. There are no conditions, no limitations when we come to Amida Buddha. And Shin Buddhism does not expect one to change because there are no prerequisites. You don't have to do anything to enter. Just come as you are. So Shinran understood that being human is exactly what causes us to awaken to Amida's wisdom and compassion. It happens simultaneously. They are exactly the same. It is such a difficult concept to sort of grasp because it is not logical. We have to find that spiritual answer. The wisdom and compassion of Amida are limitless and infinite. But as humans, we have knowledge, education, experience, but Amida's wisdom goes beyond those human abilities to know things as they really are. And humans can have kindness, empathy, and love, but Amida's compassion knows no bounds. It embraces everyone equally without discrimination, without distinction. It is something we as humans can't understand. So how is a limited human being ever to cross over to the infinite? We can't use logic. We can't use philosophy. We can't use other human tools, education, intelligence, but we have to rely on that spiritual answer that we receive from Amida. It is given to us. So how can we change without changing? We change without changing. And I think about incense smoke and the smell of incense. Whenever we cut a smelly onion in the kitchen, it smells and maybe it makes our eyes water. But when you take that smelly onion to the hondo and place it near the burning incense, the smell of incense is the strongest smell. The smell of incense overpowers the smelly onion. It doesn't change the onion, but it changes the smell of the onion. The power of the incense smoke is stronger and simply overpowers the smell of the onion, but it doesn't change it. In a similar way, the other power, the power of Amida's wisdom and compassion, Amida's vow, overpowers all the limitations, all the limited self-powers of one's ego and selfish desires. So we change without changing. And I would like to close this morning with a quote from my friend, Reverend Bob Oshta, the retired minister of Sacramento, Mitsui. I quote, but I cannot have the timing, the nuance of Reverend Bob. But he often closes with Namo Amida Butsu, with gratitude and kindness beyond words. Namo Amida. Thank you.
Would you all please stand for the Gapa? Ondok-san, number 2 on page 134, and Nembutsu on page 145. Please be seated. So this concludes our service for today. And really, I was so moved by Reverend Ron's talk. He's been talking about this a lot over the years, but it's really struck home to me today. I liked the idea of the onion and the incense, because today some of the things on the altar smelled of onions from our refrigerator, and I don't smell it now. So anyway, it was kind of funny, you know, I was like, whoa, yes, I got onto that one. But really, we just so greatly appreciate Reverend Ron. His wisdom, compassion over the years has been really something that we will always remember. Of course, he's not going away, but he was such a wonderful leader for us, and we really appreciate his contributions to the Eastern District. So this is a time where we would welcome any newcomers. Do we have any newcomers today? No? We do have somebody who's returned. Can you get up and say hello to everybody, because that would be nice.
Thank you. Hi everyone, my name is Helen. I've been living in Santa Barbara for the last year because I've been attending UCSB for grad school, so I'm back visiting for the weekend, and it's so nice to be back.
Yes.
So, hi everyone.
We're glad to see you, Helen.
Thank you.
So, let's see. Our words of appreciation. Thank you so much to Nobuko Kodama for jumping in to help on the altar. And today, our flower arrangement teacher, Junko Yamakawa, came in specially because she didn't teach yesterday. She usually teaches on Saturday and puts the flowers on the altar on Sunday. But she came in especially this morning. Thank you so much, Junko Sensei, for coming in and helping out with the flowers. She teaches regularly on Saturdays. Her morning classes are at 11 and the afternoon is at 1. She's taking a break during August, like the rest of us here at New York Buddhist Church, and will begin resuming her classes, her Ikebana classes, on right after Labor Day. So that following Saturday after Labor Day, she'll start up again. Let's see, thank you, Lily and Kwang, for stepping in and really helping us. It was a little bit more difficult this morning because of the video, but she's been taught and prepped by our ever-present David Brady, so she's taking a nice bow. You all can't see it. But anyway, thank you, Lily, and thank you, let's see, thank you, John Skelly, also, for being our pianist this morning. Did I forget anyone? Greeters. I think Ruth was our greeter this morning, so thank you. Next week is our Hiroshima-Nagasaki Memorial Service. So because of the significance of our statue of Shinran Shonin outside the building, it's a especially important service for us because it survived the atomic bomb and was brought here and placed at the New York Buddhist Church in 1955. It was a wonderful service commemorating that. So next week we will have our service for Hiroshima and Nagasaki Memorial. And we got a request from a cantor from the Actors Temple in Manhattan on 47th Street. And he requested that he come and cant the Kaddish, which is the prayer for the dead. It means something special to him because he said his father was involved. He was a physicist who was involved in the Manhattan Project. So I think it will probably be very moving when cantor Aaron Betterson comes. Ruth, did you have something? I'm sorry. Anyway, so that should be something special. We will have our memorial service too then. Let's see. Also, things that are coming up. This weekend is the Jodo Shinshu Correspondence Course in conjunction with the Center for Buddhist Education and the Institute of Buddhist Studies. They will be doing a summer seminar, and this is online. I know we can't attend it, but you can all register for it. It focuses on women liberating Buddhism, and the speaker will be Dr. Paula Arai. She's a wonderful speaker, and if you're interested, I think you can go online and register for it, probably at the Center for Buddhist Education website or the Buddhist Churches of America. And I would encourage you to hear her speak. She has been newly appointed to the Institute of Buddhist Studies in Berkeley, and her specialty is women in Buddhism and Zen Buddhism. So I think it should be very interesting. Also coming up, as you know, we're taking a break in August. So after next week, we will be going on a break for a month between August, that Sunday, and then the Sunday after Labor Day. So we will start up again on September 10th, and that is traditionally our 9/11 memorial service, but it will also be our first service in September, so it will be our Shotsuki Hoyo monthly memorial service as well. So stay tuned for that. There's also a Eastern District Book Club that's going to be meeting online, and I'm going to be I posted the information on MailChimp, and I think Isabella's posting it also on our website. So if you're interested in joining, it should be very, very a nice discussion. I'm trying to remember. Oh, the author of the book is Ruth Ozeki, and it's a book that I just read. It's so interesting. It's called A Tale of Time Being, or A Tale for Time Being. You can find that in your bookstores or maybe online. And so there's going to be a discussion with the whole Eastern District participating, and it will be a Zoom session. So we'll give you that information coming up. And the big news is that, as Reverend Ron alluded to, our new minister, Reverend Kurt Rye, will be arriving in August. He'll be a resident minister, which means he's living in the building, and he's he'll be occupying the apartment in the adjoining building, and we're just really looking forward to him being here. We will be sharing his duties with Ekoji Buddhist Temple and Seabrook Buddhist Temple. So we're working out an agreement with the other two temples. He'll be serving them as well. But he'll be our resident minister. I understand that he's really good on Buddhist education. He's been teaching a class for Ekoji Temple for the past year or so, and has a very active group that's participating in his classes. So we're excited. I hope you're excited too, and that you come. We'll continue doing our online services too on Facebook and YouTube. So our YouTube membership and Facebook membership has ballooned actually, and when I look at the viewing, the viewers, we see between 150 and 190 views on those platforms. So it means that a lot of people out there are interested in Buddhism, they're interested in Jodo Shinshu, and they want to participate too. So we're very grateful for that opportunity. So let's see, we have any other announcements? No, I think we're okay. We're all set. So thank you all for coming today, and also I'm sorry, I forgot to acknowledge Brian. He was our reader today. I asked him at the last minute too, but I think it's great to have our members participate in the service. Anyway, let's place our palms together in Gassho. In gratitude for this opportunity for us all to come together, both here in person and online, to understand more about the teachings of Shinran Shonin and to join together as one. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you.